Hello and welcome to your snack sandwich. Today I have a quick video for you on this. Okay, there's a user here who commented on BANCOR version 3 video, and he's asking like how to deal with these like deficits and how to calculate the deficit percentage and stuff like that. Now I'm not going to explain how to calculate the deficit percentage, but I am going to talk a lot about how BANCOR is addressing the deficit and so forth, and trying to create surpluses in these pools so people can get their money back. Now, recently, I was able to withdraw a full amount of my tokens. I was providing liquidity to WST ETH, and I was able to get back all my WST ETH recently. Okay, so there's a few things that you should know, and I'm going to kind of go through everything and kind of talk about how they are attacking this deficit. So the first thing we want to talk about is this dashboard here. There's a dashboard here, and there's a lot of data here, or not really, there's not too much, but we can kind of look at it and kind of I'll explain a few key things that you kind of have to watch here, okay? So here we have stake balance versus the vault balance. So as you can see, there people put $23 million worth of ETH into the version 3 liquidity pool. So it would be ETH BNT LP, Link BNT LP, right? So they put 23 million in there, and currently there is $10 million in there. So it has a deficit of minus 54%, okay? Now, these numbers can change quite frequently based on two factors. One, the buying back and burning of BNT, as well as the price changes of these underlying assets. So if ETH goes up, let's give you a quick example. Let's say these were both 20 millions, this Link and this ETH. So 20 million, 20 million, and let's say the vault balance is 10 million, 10 million. If ETH goes up quite a bit and Link doesn't go up as much, then Link is easier to fix the deficit, okay? Because it won't get arbed backwards. Okay, now what does that mean? Okay, so if ETH goes up on Uniswap by let's say 10% for some reason, it goes up by 10% on Uniswap. It doesn't go up on BANCOR by 10% until someone arbs it. And how to arb it? To arb it, you need to buy BNT somehow, like say maybe use Matic, buy some BNT, right? And then sell that BNT for ETH. So then you're reducing the balance of the ETH in that pool and making the deficit worse because the price of ETH has gone up. Okay, if the price of ETH goes down, then it becomes easier because people will then use ETH to buy BNT and sell it for something else. Okay, so this is kind of how it's working in that sense. Now, these numbers can fluctuate quite frequently. However, you don't necessarily have to monitor this because once it goes to zero, then they have a bot set up that's going to close the pool. So once the pool becomes like a deficit of zero, the pool gets closed. And then you can come anytime you want and withdraw your assets. You don't need to be like, oh, the first one to get your money out as soon as you can. Now, if you don't mind taking a haircut, like for example, maybe none of these numbers look really good, but let's say this 30% haircut is okay for you, then you could come now and take your assets out and take that 34% haircut, okay? So this is kind of what's going here. You don't have to monitor this, but you can if you want, and you can take haircuts if that's something you want, or you can just wait until that pool goes into surplus, and then they will immediately close the pool, and you won't have to. You can just come and collect your tokens at that time. Okay, so let's talk about how are they attacking the surpluses. Okay, they do it in several ways. Okay, so the first one is BANCOR version 3 liquidity pools are still live, some of them, right? So there is the possibility that people are trading here. So you could come here and you could trade ETH for some other token, right? Maybe DAI or something, and you could go through here and you could trade through this pool, and it would take a fee, okay? And those fees are now, instead of being given to the liquidity providers based on this proposal here, instead of giving those fees to the liquidity providers, 100% of the fees are just used to buy BNT and burn it, because everyone they just want the deficit attacked. They don't care about their LPs gaining trading fees. They just want that BNT to be burned. Okay, so that's that. Okay, now this includes arbitrage bots. So if an arbitrage bot, some third party, some guy who has an arbitrage bot, whoever that might be, if they want to arb this pool, then they also need to pay that trading fee, and then that trading fee is used to buy BNT and burn it. Okay, so that's the first one. So 100% of the fees, right, in BANCOR version 3. The other one is carbon fees. Now, I have a video for you on carbon. It's pretty cool stuff. You can check it out. You can look, but I'm not going to explain it all here. It's basically range limit orders, kind of like an order book DEX, kind of where you can set up like buy low, sell high range orders. Okay, and they're automatic and reoccurring and non-reversible orders in some ways. Okay, so you can watch a video on this, but this thing has a fee as well, right? So I think it's 0.2%. I could be wrong, but something like that. And all of those fees are being used to buy some BNT from the market and burn it, okay? And then the last way is they have this fast lane arbitrage bot, okay? Now this thing's pretty special. Is basically it looks at a whole bunch of places like where are they here? Uniswap, SushiSwap, Curve, Dodo, Balancer, and I know they've added some others like PancakeSwap and version 2, version 3, and stuff like that. So this arb bot can find arbitrage opportunities, right? You can use the arbitrage bot to find arbitrage opportunities. Like if you see an arbitrage opportunity, you can execute it through this bot, right? And it'll take care of the flash loans, it'll take care of like the swaps and all that kind of stuff, right? So you can, if you find an arbitrage opportunity, you can do it so. But what makes this bot special is it's exempt from the fees on version 3. So it can arb these much better than everybody else, than the public, okay? And then any of the profits that it does make, it automatically sends it through that pool. So if this arbitrage bot, say it produces a profit of ETH, right? Then it will take that ETH, buy BNT through that version 3 pool, and then burn that BNT. Now, it doesn't use all of the profits. Like it wants to incentivize people to use it. So it actually splits the profits 50-50. I believe it says somewhere in here. Anyhow, I can't find it. But anyhow, yeah, I think it's here. No, that's not it either. Anyhow, basically, if you find an arbitrage opportunity, you need to be paid because you're going to call the contract, right? So it's going to take it's going to take half of the profit, give it to you, and the other half it's going to send through those BNT pools and burn the BNT, okay? So this is kind of how I understand what's going on. I could be wrong. There's no clear documentation. I asked a few questions here and there, and this is the understanding that I came up with. Of course, vet my understanding, double check the things I'm saying, and make sure for yourself. But I hope this has been useful and interesting. I think it's pretty admirable that Carbon or that BANCOR has stuck around and like attacked the deficit. Like it's the right thing to do, to instead of we screwed up, it's screwed, let's go launch another project on another chain anonymously. No, they've stuck around. They've built new products, two things, BANCOR, both Carbon as well as the Fastlane arbitrage bot, and they've done it purely for the sake of attacking that deficit. Now, after that deficit is gone, who knows what's going to happen? There will be another DAO vote, right? So the DAO will decide at that point what to do with those profits after the deficit is gone, or maybe somebody before the deficit's gone, there's a new proposal and it'll be voted on to use those fees in other ways, but that's how it currently is being used at this time. Okay, so I hope this has been useful and interesting. And Mr. Carl Hedemund, I hope I have answered your question to your satisfaction and so forth. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.